A shocking scene on one of the busiest downtown streets. A car slams into a building on Rideau Street, killing a pedestrian, injuring 3 others, and leaving a scene of destruction behind for onlookers. Good evening. Stefan was on assignment today, and we begin tonight with the latest on a tragic crash from this morning. A man in his 70s is dead after he and 3 other people were struck by a vehicle while waiting in line at a drop-in center. The crash happened around 9 o'clock at the intersection of Rideau and Cobourg streets in Lower Town. And as CTV's Katie Griffin tells us, witnesses describe a chaotic scene, some saying they were inches away from being struck themselves.
A chaotic and tragic scene Wednesday morning.
And this car just came out of nowhere full speed and missed me by an inch and knocked me on the ground and hit 2 people in front of my eyes. So I'm in total disbelief right now.
Jennifer Sackney was waiting in line for coffee outside the drop-in at Rideau and Cobourg streets when a vehicle crashed into the building, striking 4 pedestrians.
One was under a pile of bricks and one just got hit by the car, just hit all at once. It happened so fast, and it came out of nowhere from that way, and it was coming really fast, the car.
A man in his 70s was killed. Paramedics say 2 other men remain in critical condition, and a woman is in stable condition.
So he was speeding and ran into those people, and those people line up there for coffee every day at 9.
Police would not say whether the incident was intentional or whether speed, impairment, or weather conditions played a role.
Our units are on scene, our investigators are on scene, and that will definitely be something that will be looked into and investigated.
You can tell how severe the impact was based on the extensive damage to both the vehicle and the building. The door ripped off, bricks coming tumbling down.
So what's going on now is our team took some pictures. They are coming up with a plan to shore the building, but they're letting our partners conclude their investigation, at which time police will call us back to the scene and the structural collapse team will come and shore the building.
Police say the driver was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The mayor calling the incident tragic and shocking.
For something like that to happen on the streets of Ottawa is very difficult to hear, and all of my thoughts are with the victim and his family and with the other victims who were injured.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
And we have extended coverage of the fatal crash on Rideau Street. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. All right, we'll take our first check of the weather, what's happening. A lot of people out on the canal this evening, a milder evening that we were looking at. Here's a live look, though, through our Centennial class sky camera. Sitting at -3 degrees right now here in Ottawa. Let's check in with CTV's Jackie Paris for your first check on the weather tonight. Jackie.
Well, for most of eastern Ontario, the snow, or the light snow rather, should be tapering off just past midnight. And the good news is that tomorrow we're in for a lot of sunshine and milder temperatures that will lead us into the weekend. But a closer look now, tomorrow -9 to kick things off, feeling more like -16 when you factor in the wind chill. But we are getting to a daytime high of about -4. The dry conditions, I should say, will carry us into Friday. But by Friday, late evening into Saturday, we could start to see a little bit of weather activity that could bring some rainfall here to the region. We'll have more on this in just a bit. Kimberly.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Fresh off a gold medal Olympic win, Sens captain Brady Tkachuk is coming back to the capital, but his return comes as the U.S. men's hockey team is facing criticism about their post-Olympic celebrations with U.S. President Donald Trump.
I must tell you, we're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. Absolutely. I do believe I probably would be impeached.
Well, that phone call in the locker room following the gold medal game sparked some angry reaction after Trump joked he would also have to invite the women's team to the State of the Union address or get impeached. Now, many of the players laughed. The men's team did attend the address last night. The women declined the invitation.
The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team, come on in.
The players were greeted by cheers as Trump introduced them during last night's speech. Brady Tkachuk and his brother Matthew also appeared on Fox News last night when Brady was asked about returning to Ottawa.
Yeah, they're not the happiest with me right now. So, I just go back, give them everything that I got, and but yeah, it's a funny feeling when you feel their support every day, and and you get to 2 weeks and you're public enemy #1. So going back with a smile on my face and get ready for a playoff push.
The Ottawa Senators head coach Travis Green is getting ready to welcome back Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson after their gold medal Olympic win. Now, he says he has no doubt the American players will return ready to help their Canadian team.
Kudos to them for winning, and excited for our players that they've had that opportunity. But I also know both players well and how badly they want to win here. So I don't see that being a problem. Physically, I can't speak for where they're at. We'll assess it. We'll take it day by day, but they're going to both be all in for sure for us, for the Ottawa Senators. I don't worry about that.
Now, the Sens are hosting the Detroit Red Wings at the Canadian Tire Centre tomorrow night. Puck drop is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Ottawa police are looking for a suspect in connection with a reported carjacking and a home invasion at a West End rooming house. Now, the incident happened on Howden Avenue off Woodruff just after 2 p.m. on February 14th. 4 people allegedly entered the rooming house, falsely claiming to be police officers. Now, police say after that confrontation, a carjacking happened at a separate location. One suspect is described as a black man who was wearing glasses and a black puffer coat at the time. Well, a lawyer from Kesselman is facing charges for allegedly misappropriating $500,000 from multiple clients. OPP launched an investigation in December of 2024 after receiving complaints about suspected misuse of client trust funds. A 44-year-old was arrested, and the investigation is ongoing. Ottawa City Council is throwing its support behind the province's plan to give OC Transpo special constables extended powers to arrest and fine people using drugs on public transit.
What I hear from residents is that they're concerned about safety and security on buses and trains, that they've witnessed incidents that have been of concern to them, that have caused them worry. And so we need to have all the tools that we can at our disposal in order to manage that situation.
Under the proposed legislation, special constables would have the authority to tell people to stop using drugs or leave a transit station or vehicle. If the person doesn't comply, they could be fined or arrested. Councillors voted to endorse the legislation today. Councillors also voted today to direct OC Transpo to conduct an audit into the ongoing issues with LRT Line 1. In January, dozens of trains were pulled out of service after problems were discovered with the axle bearings. Now, since then, Line 1 has been operating with single-car trains. The safety audit won't begin until service is fully restored. There is no timeline on when that will happen. An Ottawa councillor is calling on the federal government to delay the 4-day office mandate for federal public servants until the O-Train East extension opens. Matthew Lulov has sent a letter to the Treasury Board president saying, for many residents, the commute already takes up to 2 hours one way. OC Transpo is currently facing service deficiencies that cannot be resolved overnight. He goes on to write, any increase to required on-site presence should be paused until LRT Stage 2 is operational to Orleans and the transit network is in a reliable position to support additional ridership. The East Extension was expected to open earlier this year, but 2 weeks ago, OC Transpo delayed the launch until at least late spring or early summer. Councillor Catherine Kitts is also raising concerns about how the new office mandate will impact residents in the East End. Meantime, the federal government is buying an office building in the downtown core as it gets ready to implement the new hybrid work policy. Public Services and Procurement Canada confirms to CTV News Ottawa it is purchasing the building at 131 Queen Street from Mogard Corporation for $148 million. It says the building was constructed for government use and will continue to serve as a key administration facility. Police, politicians, and victims gathered in Mississauga, Ontario for a 2-day conference on human trafficking. The goal of the event is to find ways to tackle a crime that targets young women. CTV's John Musselman reports.
The 2-day symposium includes police, social services, politicians, and victims of human trafficking. And the goal is to expand professional networks to disrupt human trafficking. The event is being hosted by Victim Services of Peel Region.
To share knowledge, best practices, what works, what are the gaps, how do we fill those gaps, and how do we move forward to disrupting, combating, and preventing human sex trafficking in our cities.
As we know that supporting human trafficking survivors is not something that we can do alone, but something that we can only do collaboratively.
Here's a look at the numbers. 70% of victims identified police are under the age of 25. 62% of cases originate in the GTA. The average age is between 12 and 24 years old, and 63% of victims trafficked in Ontario are Canadian citizens. The symposium comes just 2 days after Peel Regional Police announced that 3 men and a youth have been charged in connection with an alleged sex trafficking case involving 3 girls aged 11 to 14.
I really believe it's a violation of human decency. It should not be happening. But again, another reminder of why it's so important to do these investigations, but why we also need to follow them up by supporting the survivors that we rescue.
The provincial government says it's investing more than $345 million in an anti-human trafficking strategy. The symposium continues tomorrow. John Musselman, CTV News in Mississauga.
All right, coming up, how students in Kemptville are marking Pink Shirt Day and taking a stand against bullying. Plus, Jackie's back with an extended look at your forecast. Got a live look here at the Queensway, east and westbound traffic. Overall, moving quite nicely. We don't have to deal with any major problems out there, but you can see that the roads are wet, so you could come across some slick conditions if you need to be out and about. And if you drive, you know the winter weather is taking a toll on Ottawa's highways and streets, and the recent freeze-thaw cycles are keeping city crews busy. So far this year, crews have filled nearly 14,000 potholes, so that's up from 7,200 during the same time last year. The city says during pothole season, hundreds of crews are out citywide to complete repairs as there is added stress on the roads and sidewalks. The city has set aside $12.6 million to fill potholes this year. That's up from $12.3 million in last year's budget. Residents are encouraged to report any potholes to the City of Ottawa online. All right, we'll take another look at what's happening for the weather. Another look at the Rideau Canal. We've got some skaters down there waving to us this evening. We'll take a look at what happened in the city this evening between 8 and 9 p.m. We had some light snow covering the city. Environment Canada, they released an updated special weather statement for the city tonight for flurries. Some heavy at times, could suddenly reduce visibility. It's tapering off, though, around midnight. Jackie Perez is standing by. She's got an extended look at your forecast. Jackie.
We're going to have a much milder overnight conditions compared to what we saw yesterday into tomorrow morning. Overnight, about -8 degrees. Yeah, the chance of flurries will likely stick around, but it should clear by the time 2 a.m. rolls around. We've got southerly winds moving through, bringing in that much warmer air. The daytime high for tomorrow will be -4, but again, in the morning, bundle up because the wind chill will feel closer to -16. Taking a look at tonight's lows across eastern Ontario, it is about -15 in the valley as well as in Bancroft, -10 along the Seaway, and that extends from Trenton all the way to Brockville and even Cornwall. Here in Ottawa and Gatineau, temperatures sitting around -11, -12 degrees. And as we look towards tomorrow's daytime highs, we're getting to about -4 here in Ottawa and Pembroke, about -2 in Kingston and Brockville, but lots of sunshine will carry us well into Friday. Taking a closer look at these weather conditions by Friday morning, you can see that there is a light flurries moving through. We may see that for parts of Pembroke and even Ottawa, but it's going to quickly move through. So this is an early forecast as well. So we may not even see some light flurries for our Friday. But what I want to keep an eye on, though, is this active weather system Friday evening into Saturday, where we could see a mix of freezing rain, more so rain because we do have the temperatures that is going to be above the freezing mark. So again, keeping a close eye on this. For Friday, 2 degrees a daytime high. Saturday, we could see that mix of flurries as well as rain showers with a daytime high of about 3 degrees. -16, though, is the overnight low going into Sunday, and that's when temperatures are going to start dropping because Monday we're only getting to a daytime high of -10.
Well, today is Pink Shirt Day, a global movement that aims to raise awareness about bullying in schools, workplaces, and online. CTV's Peter Sperling has more on how students in the Ottawa area are taking part.
Students in Kemptville are taking a stand against bullying by walking.
It's not very nice. You shouldn't do it if you do, because it can be hard on people.
Grade 6 student Sidonie is one of about 175 from École Rivière Rideau, braving a snowy morning to mark Pink Shirt Day.
I think maybe some people will see it and will pay attention.
The students walk through their Kemptville campus and neighboring streets to raise awareness about bullying in schools.
It's a good thing to do because we're, celebrating that we shouldn't bully. I would try to prevent it and help.
Maybe they'll think about, oh yeah, bullying. Yeah, I took a stand at some point to walk and, raise my voice and say, no, that's not the right thing to do. So hopefully it's going to create an impact for them and their families and hopefully the community.
The students are joined by Craig McCormick, a retired police officer who started a campaign against bullying called Take a Stand, Lend a Hand.
Just raising an awareness together and, making sure that the victims of bullying know that we're out there.
He's been leading walks throughout the community for 5 years.
Just raising awareness, going to coffee shops, and then walks like this with kids is priceless. They get the message and it hits the heart.
A message these students will walk back to class with and perhaps carry on.
And hopefully it'll shrink the amount of people who bully.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
When we were introduced, there was just that instant connection both ways.
After the break, marking a special milestone for a program improving the lives of veterans living with PTSD, one service dog at a time. Well, the RCMP is asking kids aged 4 through 14 across the country to help name a new class of police dogs. The service says 13 German Shepherd puppies are set to be born at its training center in Alberta. Now, a few rules apply, including the name must start with a B. It also cannot be more than 2 syllables or more than 9 letters long. Last year's contest for letters A saw names chosen like Ace, Argo, Ash, and August. Now, the 13 kids whose ideas are chosen will get a special laminated photo of the puppy that they name along with other prizes. Online entries are due by March 26th. The program supporting veterans is marking a major milestone tonight. It's now paired 100 veterans living with PTSD with a service dog. CTV's Dave Charbonneau has more.
I don't know if I can put into words what Polly's brought into my life.
Army veteran John Parker spent years living in fear.
I got to a point prior to my release and after my release where I couldn't leave the house. I was really afraid of me.
But that changed 3 months ago when he met Polly, a service dog trained to help him with post-traumatic stress disorder.
And when we were introduced, there was just that instant connection both ways.
But Polly isn't just any service dog. She represents a major milestone for Wounded Warriors Canada. The organization is dedicated to supporting ill and injured vets. And Polly's canine claim to fame is being the 100th graduate of the service dog program since partnering with the Legion in 2018.
So it's already starting to show great results, and we're very, very excited about this.
On top of that, Polly, like other service dogs, is custom trained, meeting the individual needs of every vet they're paired with.
Towards the end of their training, they start customizing their learning to match the veteran's needs for their specific disability diagnosis. So Polly has some very specific skills that help mitigate John's disability.
Thanks to Polly, John and his wife say their life together is closer to what they want it to be.
Instead of going out into, say, a supermarket and having my head on a swivel because I'm looking for a threat, now I'm focused on her. So that little world that I'm worried about becomes much smaller and much easier to control, I think, or function in.
I think he felt guilty because he couldn't go out with me and stuff. And now, we went out for our anniversary in December. We went out for Valentine's breakfast. And so we're able to, reintegrate into society.
Life companions, grateful for the comforting skills of a four-legged friend.
She made it safer. She made my world safer. And she opened the door, not just to my house, but like I said, to the world.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
All right, when we come back, Valerie Malte is back in Canada after winning 3 Olympic medals. CTV's Mac Brillo caught up with the speed skater and how she's now preparing for the World Championships in a few weeks. Supporters of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute are helping light the capital red for Heart Month. Advanced Group of Companies is supporting the campaign and says it is especially meaningful because the company has seen firsthand the life-changing impact of heart care through one of its own team members. Olympic champion speed skater and flag bearer for the closing ceremony, Valerie Maltais is home from Milan. She's now 35 years old, and she had her most successful games of her career, winning 3 medals. And as CTV's Matt Gilmore tells us, Maltais already has her eyes on more medals with the Speed Skating World Championships just weeks away.
It was a moment Valerie Maltais will remember for the rest of her life.
When we crossed the line, I was just like so pumped. I was just so energized from it and just like screaming everywhere and just jumping around.
Back-to-back gold medals in the women's team pursuit, something no women's team has done since 2010.
Being together again, that same team for 8 years, we're one of the most experienced out there skating together, and we had to use that experience together and just show up to the line and just like enjoy ourselves.
This was Maltais' 5th and final Olympics, and she saved the best for last. She won Canada's first medal of the Games, a bronze in the 3,000 meter, and brought home another bronze in the 1,500 for good measure.
Have you gotten used to the feeling of having 3 of those things around your neck yet?
No, they're quite heavy, actually. Every time I, like right now, like when I put these medals, it's like kind of like going back right away to all of the achievement that I went through at these games.
With 5 Olympic medals in total, she's now one of Canada's most decorated Olympians, and was asked to carry the Canadian flag at the closing ceremonies.
I was really emotional, and I was really proud in that moment to accept and realizing what it meant to carry the flag at the closing ceremony.
On Monday, Maltais returned home to a hero's welcome. She'll spend just a week in Canada and then head back to the Netherlands for the World Championships, where she once again has big ambitions. After that, she says, she'll have time to reflect on her remarkable Olympic career.
But yeah, it's quite a journey.
A journey she hopes the next generation will be able to follow. Maltais started training before the Vancouver Games in 2010, when funding for the athletics was at its peak. Since then, she says it hasn't kept up with rising costs, and the country risks falling behind.
I think the younger generation, it needs to change, and I think we need to set and use our voice right now to make some changes happen.
So athletes like Maltais can continue to inspire and live out their Olympic dreams. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
All right, still to come, Jackie's got one more look at the forecast, and while it may not feel like spring, there are signs that it is on the way like this. We'll have details on the sugar bush season about to kick off at a local farm.
Far side pass, and it's a early shot. He scored!
Well, here's another live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam, holding steady at -3 degrees here in the capital. All right, we'll have our final check of weather. Let's check in one more time with Jackie Perez. Jackie.
Well, if you missed the sunshine today, don't worry. We will be getting lots of it for tomorrow. Kicking things off at -11, it still will feel a little bit cold there with that wind chill feeling closer to about -16 and -19. We're getting to a daytime high, though, about -4, but Friday, the chance of flurries could return. It won't last long, though, if we are anticipating any. 2 degrees the daytime high, 3 for Saturday, but we will likely see a little bit of rain moving through for us Saturday. Temperatures will dip by the time Sunday and Monday roll around, so we're not quite done with the winter-like weather as we begin March. Kimberly.
All right, thanks, Jackie. Finally for us tonight, maple syrup season is just around the corner. Stanley's Old Maple Lane Farm is kicking things off on Saturday with a special ceremony and ceremonial first tree tapping. Stanley's is also marking a big milestone. Get this, 200 years of maple syrup production at the farm. Sugarbush season at the farm will run from February 28th to April the 12th. Looks good. All right, well, that's CTV News for Wednesday, February 25th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow night.